Now it comes and gives you evil looks as it's dragging you to where you will be tormented. And this spirit of the presence looks just like you, though. Yes, our guardian angels present themselves before the Father in our form. So they'll be looking at you with terrible looks the whole time while dragging you into your final punishment. Read.
And to thrust them still downwards.
And to thrust them still downwards. So they're dragging you down the whole time. Go.
Now those angels that are set over these souls drag them into the neighborhood of hell itself.
They drag them into the neighborhood of hell itself. And do what?
Who, when they are hard by it, continually hear the noise of it, and do not stand clear of the hot vapor itself.
They hear the noise, and they start smelling and seeing the vapors coming out of it. Read.
But when they have a near view of this spectacle, as of a terrible and exceeding great prospect of fire, they are struck with the fearful expectation of a future judgment.
And as soon as they see it, they know that something is going to happen. A future judgment is coming down on them. Go ahead.
And in effect, punished thereby, and not only so, but where they see the place, or choir of the fathers and of the just, even hereby they are punished, for a chaos.
For a chaos.
Deep and large is fixed between them.
So there's a chasm or a chaos fixed between them. You have the righteous on one side and the unrighteous on the other. Righteous and unrighteous. Read on.
Chaos deep and large, and fixed between them, insomuch that a just man that have compassion upon them cannot be omitted, nor can one that is unjust, if he were bold enough to attempt, pass over it.
Go ahead. That means either side, the righteous can't help the unrighteous, and the unrighteous cannot get to where the righteous is. But they can see each other. That lets you know that even though the churches teach that in Luke 16 is talking about a parable, it's real. Christ is talking about an actual place and an actual scenario that happened in Luke the 16th chapter. It's backed up with the 70 scriptures that we read that the Lord said hide, and it's backed up through Josephus, who understood the scriptures because he read the scriptures. He was a man of law. Read on.
This is the discourse concerning Hades, wherein the souls of all men are confounded unto a proper season.
So they're confined until a proper season. Read on.
Which God hath determined, when he will make a resurrection of all men from the dead.
He will make a resurrection of all men from the dead. So not only will the righteous be resurrected, the unrighteous will be resurrected also. It tells you in Revelations 20 that the dead in Christ from the bosom of Abraham shall rise first. This is the first resurrection, for which the second death have no power. The second death is at the end of the 1,000 years when he raised the dead that are waiting in hell for their final judgment. One moment. What verse you left off at?
5.
5? Let's finish it up. Read.
When he will make a resurrection of all men from the dead.
But he shall make a resurrection of all men from the dead. Read.
Not procuring a transmigration of souls from one body to another.
Read that again.
Not procuring a transmigration of souls from one body to another.
So Josephus here is telling the Greeks there's no transmigration of a spirit going from one body to the next. So he's right there telling you reincarnation does not exist. That's a ploy or trick that Satan used to make you think you have another life to fulfill so that he can have your soul now. So he'll make you think, listen, you're not finished. You can do what you want because you'll come back, knowing that he's tricking you for hell. There's no transmigration from one soul to the next, okay, or one body to the next. So if you know for sure that you only have one chance to get it right, what you going to do? You're going to follow the laws of the Most High. But if you think that you're going to come back over and over again, you can do what you want in your life. That's another lie they teach in Hindu, that you come back over and over until you get it right. That's madness. That's madness, okay? Read on.
But raising again those very bodies.
Raising again those very bodies. You got the first resurrection, which is written of in Revelations 20, and you got the second death, where the dead in Christ rise at the very end to be judged and thrown in the fire. Okay? Some will be resurrected to righteousness and to glory, and some shall be resurrected to eternal shame. But all the dead will be judged. Read.
Which you Greeks, seem to be dissolved, do not believe.
He says, which you Greeks, seeing to be dissolved, do not believe. Read.
Their resurrection.
Why they don't believe their resurrection? The Greeks disrespected by doing what? Burning their bodies. That's a ritual they do. They sacrifice their bodies to Satan at the very end by cremation. You're not supposed to cremate your body because one day the Most High is going to materialize that same body and put a spirit in it and make that same body glorified. Christ's body wasn't cremated. Even Moses, Satan tried to take Moses' body when Moses died. And Michael had to contend with him. You're not supposed to burn your bodies. That's what the Greeks do. They put coins on the eyes and burn the body. Cremation is straight satanic. It's straight sacrificing your body to the gods. That's what the Greeks and Romans did. Okay? Read on.
But learn not to disbelieve it. For while you believe that the soul is created, and yet is made immortal by God, according to the doctrine of Plato.
So even Plato knew that the spirit was immortal. Read.
And this in time, not to be incredulous, but believe that God is able, when he had raised to life that body which was made as a compound of the same elements.
So he can take that same body made of the same elements and do what?
To make it immortal.
He can make them same elements immortal. Okay? And some of these rich guys that get rich, they know that one day the bodies will be what you would call regenerated. So now the rich people, what they do, they store their bodies in some place for present preservation. They preserve their body for a what you would call a future resurrection. No, it's okay. For a future resurrection. These rich guys think that if they store their body in a freezer somewhere, when the Masons and Satan take down the Most High, that Satan going to come and do something to their bodies and bring them back. Huh? Walt Disney. He done froze himself. And you know he's getting whipped down there right now. All the madness and witchcraft and sorcery he was dealing with. Read on.
For it must never be said of God that he is able to do some things and unable to do others.
The Most High can do anything he wants. Okay? So Josephus was giving it to the Greeks. He was like, listen, even Plato, your philosopher, tell you that your spirit is immortal. If your spirit is immortal, don't you think that he can take that same body and make that body glorified? That's what he did with Christ's body. Okay? 2 scriptures and we out. Because when you get a chance, you can read the rest yourself. I need you to go to Ephesians 4th chapter. Ephesians 4. I need you to get the one in Peter's you had originally. Ephesians 4. So when it says the dead in Christ